Come get your money. Pay Lake Carp Fishing with Donald Barrow.
Hey guys, this is Donald Barrow. Come get your money. Today we're going to be talking about dough balls. And let me be clear, we're using bread to make our dough balls, but this isn't what is considered bread bait. I'll explain. Bread bait is generally in North Carolina when you take uh, old bread, crusty bread. Uh, the best are hamburger buns or hot dog buns. I like hot dog buns. Old hot dog buns, and grind them up in your blender or your food processor, and you basically grind them to dust and little shreds, not dust, but uh, what comes out. I've 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 used 6 packs of hot dog buns to get a decent couple bags full of bread. Some guys coarser, some guys really fine. Um, I like it kind of fine. And then you just wet your hands and pack it into a bait ball over your pickup, and you've got bread bait. And why I say over a pickup is the bait I'm making, a dough ball, you don't use a pickup, and you don't want the bait to break. Where when you're fishing with bread, you want that bait to break. So you don't pack it super hard. You just pack it enough so you can cast it over over a pickup. So then it breaks down and the pickup floats up. It does its thing, and you're using bread bait. Bread bait got controversial last year when Joe Lutz banned it at Creekside. His reasoning was simple: bread floats. His lake is square, and it's the most fair lake that I know of. Almost any spot you can win from, and probably has been won from. Uh, it's almost like a supersized swimming pool, and I hate to describe a beautiful carp pond like that, but it is just spectacular. But he banned it because when the bait bread breaks and it floats up like a topwater bait, and then um, with the pumps going, the bait all gathers in the corners, and they become a hot spot. And then the local anglers that fish it every day, they know that, and all of a sudden the draw out is for the corners, especially the corners where the bread bait was flowing to, making it unfair for the rest of the anglers. I don't know, 35, about 35 anglers. I don't know what the number is on Creekside, but 4 spots are the hot spots. Maybe not that. Maybe it all flows to uh, the near side corner or whatever corner it flows to. Um, it creates unfair condition, and so that was the reason it was banned. It's not bad for fish or anything like that. It was bad for competition in that lake. Plenty of lakes still allow bread, and it's a really viable option in the wintertime. When it gets really cold, it's bread or chow, possibly some bean. In the day when it warms up, you may be able to sneak in some grits or oats, but the primary bait in the wintertime is bread or chow. This bait, this is a wild card. This was a standard at Pay Lakes, and then it wasn't. And when I say a standard at Pay Lakes, years ago, I don't want to guess how many years, but for wild carp fishing, I've seen it used plenty of times. For even grass carp, excellent bait, no weight. But let me get into it. Piece of bread. Unlike when you're using bread bait, you want soft white bread. Uh, Thicker the better, but the cheap bread works fine. When I say cheap, the discount store brand white bread. Uh, if you're really into it, a little thicker than the cheapest stuff, find you a brand. I was told exactly what brand to find. Has a bear on it, and Walmart's. I don't know what brand that is, but I was using this bread, and I was I caught over 20 fish. What I did is took the crust off, and then I split it in half. And the formula, the recipe, whatever you want to call it, is 1/2 slice of bread with the crust off. Wet your fingers, but don't. This is almost just like chow. Dampen your hands. Don't make it wet, just damp. That's all you need. Um, I got a double hook set up here. I'm just going to grab one. That looks to be a Thomas Bailey tide. It's either a Carp Reaper by Wicked, or it's a Thomas Bailey Mud Pigs hook. Both are excellent. I'm going to take my hook, put it right in the middle, and just fold over the top, fold over the bottom, squeeze the ball in my hand, my wet hand. And that is it. The more you do, probably the worse you make it. But one other nuance, and I'll tell you a nuance, is I was making it like a round ball, like a pea, and an expert, Lonnie Luck, senior, 70-year-old, learned how to fish this way in Vietnam, in Thailand, or over there. And he told me, make it flat. And that was so easy to do it. But that's the bait. I can throw this bait a mile. It'll stay on this hook for an hour or plus. And if you think about it, there's no buckets of bait. There is a bag of bread, and you even have chum if you're fishing wild carp, or you're fishing if you're fishing fun fishing, you got bread to throw out. To be honest, I don't do a lot of that because it brings the carp to the top. So scratch that, really. Throw it out at the end just to feed the fish, maybe, but don't throw it when you're fishing. Don't. You just ruin the bite. You want them to take this off the bottom. Even if you were fishing in Florida, they have, call them wild grass carp. They were planted years ago when I lived there in the 80s to combat the weeds. And somehow, I guess, if you don't know, grass carp are sterile. They sterilize the males, the females. They're not sterile, but if there's no males to mate with, then no grass carp babies. And that's the strategy. Well, somehow that didn't work out. And Florida's full of wild spawned carp, grass carp, especially south. I guess that's where they got released. And if you go into ponds down south, Miami-Dade area, Fort Lauderdale, you'll find grass carp. And you'll find them in a lot of pay lakes. And not legal to fish this way in most pay lakes. Most of them, you got to use a 1/4 ounce weight, maybe an 1/8 ounce weight, but you got to use a weight. But if you're fishing in the wild for carp, no weight, bread setup, I'd use a single hook. I just happen to have a double hook here. You can't get faster and easier. The reason that I used a double hook when I fished last time, and I felt like sometimes it was easy to get snagged on the bottom. I was leaving my line out there for an hour and plus. And if you're using a single hook and the fish hits it, there is nothing interfering with that bite. You can take it for a run, and then you smash them. And like I said, if you're looking at this, it's kind of flat. This is exactly how you want it to look. And if you do that, you made dough balls, and you're going to catch fish. Again, maybe not all pay lakes. Wild carp, but some pay lakes. It's odd. I've used it in the summertime, and it's worked. I've used it in the wintertime, and it works. When nothing else works, or just fooling around, or you ran out of bait and you want to go fishing, you got some bread, roll it up and make a dough ball. You can't get faster. If you're lazy like me sometimes, no bucket of bait, just squeeze those on and you can throw it out. No pickup, no nothing. Uh, like I said, there's variants. Panko is a bread variant used in the winter a lot, and ground bread. Let's call it ground bread. That's used a lot. But this, most of the timers called it a dough ball, and it's proven. So now you know. Hope this worked out. I got to tell you, that I got a new microphone, and it's been driving me crazy. Hooking it up, new connections, and getting the levels and everything to work right. Uh, I hope this one works out. I think it will. My testing and retesting and throwing out a lot of video. Uh, Hope this works out. Like and subscribe. I really could. I'm looking for a few more subscribers, and I appreciate any feedback and comments. I try to respond best I can, uh, and I like that. And don't be afraid to reach out. I enjoy that. Hope I see you on the water. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like and subscribe. And thank you. Appreciate it.